All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Appreciate y'all. We looking at things, and it's one of those crazy situations of this is not ending. This is continuing, and we know it's continuing. So, as reported yesterday, there was a car accident in St. Paul, Minnesota, where a white man fatally shot a black man after the car accident. So, to put this in preference, the two gentlemen were in a car accident. Uh, they the black man gets out of the car, approaches the white man after being in a car accident, and the white man proceeds to pull a gun from his glove compartment and shoot the man 4 times from 10 feet away, killing him. And the white man said he was, as per the norm, in fear of his life.
What's new?
Bruh.
I just want to know why they always scared. Like, if you're always scared of black people, there is several places that you can go where it's not many of us.
Right.
Like, bring your ass to Russia,
Germany,
Alaska.
Switzerland.
Like they ain't got a lot of niggas if you're not
Yeah.
trying to leave the state.
Right. You can go to hell.
Just go. Like, if you scared of black people, then go somewhere. Or if you would like, you can just ship me back to wherever the fuck you got me from. I'll be fine with it.
Bro. Look.
Or just ship you back to where we're overseas. Yeah, just
send me back.
You know what?
Turn the sender.
Look, fuck Ancestry.com. Just put a nigga on a boat. I'll figure it out.
Put my ass right back to the motherland. If you so scared, come on now. If you were so scared, why did you get out of the car? Like, did the black man get out the car? Or was he still in the car?
The black man got out the car and approached the white dude. The white dude was so scared, he reached into his glove compartment, pulled out a gun, and shot him 4 times from 10 feet away.
That man probably was trying to check to see if his dumb ass was okay.
Exactly.
Like you don't know what he was out the car for. Like you.
It's one of those situations where when you hear it, you hear the same like coded language you always hear. It's a black guy. I believe he had dreads, and he was darker skinned, and you have this.
Dreads, or he really was a monster.
Right, I know, right? And then you have this nerdy, glasses wearing, incel looking, I live in my parents' basement or whatever looking motherfucker who, hey, they give anybody a gun, and what does he do? He drives around with it in his glove compartment. Like, what are you, a fucking drug dealer? Like, no, bitch, you play D&D. You play Dungeons and Dragons. Like, get the fuck out of here. And then the big scary black dude who's probably coming to check on your dumb ass because y'all get in a car accident, and he said that the black guy was shouting something at him and reaching for his waist. I'm like, y'all were just in a car accident. He
probably was reaching for his phone.
It could be anything. Like, literally, he could have been holding his stomach. Maybe he bruised himself. Maybe his seatbelt hurt him.
But you know what? A lot of that goes to a lot of that cop language for, he was reaching for something at his waist. We thought it was a weapon. Like, they get that from what they see on TV, what cops get away with. So they know they can get away with it, and they know they can use it. Oh, I was scared. Scared of what?
So listen, this is the report from the news station. 24-year-old Anthony J. Trifoletti was arrested for shooting and killing 39-year-old Douglas C. Lewis. Trifoletti told St. Paul police that he was driving on U.S. Highway 61 when Lewis hit him from behind. Trifoletti's friends were driving behind him in a separate car and told police they saw the accident and subsequent confrontation between the two motorists. Trifoletti said he told his friends to leave because he feared Lewis might have a weapon. No provocation. No.
But if you were scared, why you tell your friends to leave? If I'm scared, I'm gonna be like, bitch, wait.
Right. Like, no, y'all not fucking leaving me.
Right, record it. I'm scared. Like, no,
Right.
I'm not saying. Oh, I'm scared, but you guys can go home. Get the fuck out of here.
And so this is his follow-up statement. Triple Lady later told police a Ford hit his vehicle from behind. They pulled to the side of the road. He said he talked to Lewis and asked for his insurance information, but Lewis yelled that he wanted Triple Lady's information. After asking again for Lewis's insurance information, Triple Lady said Lewis yelled something about a gang that Triple Lady didn't understand.
Oh wow.
Trifoletti, I know, right? Trifoletti then said he walked back to his truck, grabbed his 9mm handgun to put in his waistband holster. Lewis then started to pull away in his vehicle, and Trifoletti did too, but said he unintentionally followed Lewis. So you
Wait.
go to your car,
Unintentionally.
you go to your car, you get a gun, you put it in your waistband holster, and then you didn't unintentionally. You went to go kill a black man today.
So he followed them. But when was he
He
ever gonna call the police though and say, "Hey, I've been in a
anything
car accident. I think this man trying to get
right.
away"?
According to
Or
the complaint, Trifoletti said Lewis then stopped his vehicle, got out and put his hand under his shirt. That's when Trifoletti said he fired his gun 3 or 4 times at Lewis because he was afraid he was going to die. Trifoletti
and that
then
was
left the scene. He fled the
he
scene,
fled. He fled the
called
scene,
his
okay.
father and told him what happened. He said his father told him to go back to the scene, so he did. Trifoletti
So when
also
was the police called?
they called the police when Trifoletti also told police he didn't think just driving away was an option because he thought Lewis would shoot at him. This sounds like so much bullshit. I just can't even.
Who
Oh,
else is
now
missing?
listen to this. No gun was found on Lewis's person or in his car. According to police, Trifoletti was not arrested until the next day, which is perplexing because he shot an unarmed man who he unintentionally, quote unquote, as he said, followed and then fled the scene before ultimately returning. If the roles would have been reversed and a black guy would have did that, he would have been under the fucking courthouse that night.
So, but my question is, he said that he got into the car wreck. The black man told him
The
something.
police were not called until after he had already murdered him.
He went to the car to get a gun, put it in his waistband. Was he scared at that moment? Because if you were scared at that moment, why did you follow him? Because to me, you're not scared if you follow him.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, there's so many other things that could have happened. He could have just drove away in a different direction. Why are you following him?
There's no
You could have
reason to
just
follow.
drove
though.
away.
You're
You
scared
follow.
though.
Yeah, it's such bullshit. And it's like the police weren't called until after he done shot and killed a man. Trifoletti told police that he believes he heard Lewis say something about being in a gang. But
But
Lewis's
what did
sister.
you hear? Like what was the
Exactly.
gang lingo that you hear? Like
Nothing. It was bullshit.
what
It's
what he said?
bullshit.
So woo what
Like
he said,
nothing.
you hurt
Nothing.
cuz? Like what was
Exactly.
the
But Lewis apparently was a father of 4 who worked as a delivery driver in the St. Paul area.
horrible?
It don't stop. Like it's so. If Trifoletti would have been, if the roles would have been reversed, they'd have
He would have
had
been
fucking
arrested right then
SWAT.
and there.
They'd have had fucking SWAT out there for Lewis. If the roles would have been reversed, they'd have had a full tactical fucking response.
Yes, it's true.
But because Trifoletti is a nerdy little white dude, he shot and killed a man, fled the scene, went back, called police, and didn't get arrested until the following day.
No, they're giving him time to get his story together.
But
Talk to your lawyer.
like he shot and killed he shot and killed
together.
somebody. He fled the scene of an accident. He fled the scene of a murder. Like, how many crimes does he get away with committing? And in just one situation. car accident, fleeing the scene, discharging a firearm, killing somebody, fleeing the scene. Like how many crimes just in that did she get away with?
I just need to know when he felt that initial fear.
Right. No, I mean he said he said in his statement he was afraid, so he told his friends to leave. Like, so you telling me you told potential witnesses that if you're afraid for yourself, you told people who would be potential witnesses to whatever that could happen to you to leave. No, bro, that's suspect. Like, why do you
Like
tell people who?
if I'm the lawyer, I'm like, fear. Where did the fear come in? Did it
Right,
come in when you got your gun? Because you wasn't scared when you followed the man.
right.
That's not fearful.
Clearly.
If I'm scared and somebody leave, I'm gonna feel a sense of relief if I'm really scared.
How do
And
you
now
Or go opposite direction.
unintentionally follow somebody? Like, dog, if I'm on the street, guess what? I'm going the opposite fucking direction to you. If I'm scared, I'm going the opposite direction, and I'm calling the police way the fuck away. And then if you follow me, that's a whole nother story. If Mr. Lewis would have followed Trifoletti, if Trifoletti would have drove the other direction and Lewis would have followed him and, came at him aggressively and they said, oh, he shot Lewis in defense because Lewis followed him and chased him down and this, that, and the other, you know what? I wouldn't even be upset. I could understand that circumstances. He drove away. He tried to avoid contact. He called the police. Lewis showed up and accosted him and was the aggressor, and then he had to defend himself. I get that 100%. That's not what happened. He followed Lewis. He got a gun. He put it in his waistband holster, and he shot this man 4 times.
He was ready. He knew
Right.
why he was getting his gun. He knew I'm going to use this.
Yep. Bastard.
Bro, it just.
I mean, it's not even surprising anymore. It's just a sad thing about it.
Like, you get desensitized to it. And it's like, as a father, like, I contemplate the ways I can raise my sons and influence my sons so they don't have to deal with shit like this.
And I'm
Like
wondering if, for like our son specifically, Martin, will it be any better or will it be the same thing as they get older?
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. Like, I genuinely think about, like, are there other places that I can raise my kids that they won't have to deal with this? Like, what other countries are an option?
Oh, countries, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, fuck yeah, not the
countries.
U.S. Like countries. Like,
yeah.
If I went to South Africa and raised my sons in South Africa, how different would their lives be? If I went to, and I say New Zealand because I like New Zealand. They have universal health care. They have, a certain standard of living. That's where Power Rangers is filmed. My kids love Power Rangers. That would be some dope ass shit if they could get an episode of Power Rangers. All that shit like that. Like the president, she's a 39-year-old woman who knows how to use social media, who has good common sense, and who has kept the coronavirus from spreading all throughout the country. When I look at places like that, like, you talk about Switzerland, you talk about, places where, like Finland, where they have great education systems, they have great,
Right. I have a cousin in Finland.
Right. And it's like, I'm sure you've heard how nice of a country it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand there are prejudices no matter where you go. But, like, if there's a place outside of the U.S. where I don't have to worry about my kids being gunned down in the street because they're black men, like, where is that?
And I think about that all the time because I have a brother. He go to St. Aul. He's about to be a senior next year, and he's not like, he's a homebody. He don't hang in the streets, and I constantly think about him like, oh my gosh, like, what do I tell him to do in situations? I have my godson, Crab. Like, how do I tell? Like, what do we tell him? Or I think about my future children. Like, how do I raise them? Do I raise them to be fearless like me? Or do I raise them and they have to have a little bit of fear and just do what they say? Like, it's constant things that I think about as I get older.
Right. And, because it's a situation where no amount of money, no amount of status, no amount of, when you're successful as a black man, that creates even more envy and even more animosity because you're successful at that.
Right.
Because, because you are a successful black man, or you drive a nice car, you have a nice house, then you have the racists and the people that are, prejudicial towards African Americans and black men in particular. What do? They instantly, you become even more of a target now because you're driving this nice car. Like, I know.
Right. And they want to know why
Right.
you have it.
I bought a brand new car back in 2007. My credit was good. My first car, I bought that bit brand new. And it wasn't like a nice car. It was a 2007 Saturn Ion. It was super good on gas. It had great safety ratings, and it wasn't super expensive. And I bought it. I walked in, signed my name, and drove off in it, right? It wasn't, paper tags. You normally get like a 90-day tag when you buy a car. My 90 days hadn't expired yet. I hadn't got my license plate in, and I went to a gun and knife show with a good friend of mine at the time. And we're driving back to his house because he bought some stuff because he collected like swords and stuff like that. And we're driving back, and we get pulled over in Baton Rouge. And I get told, oh, this car was reported stolen. I'm like, no, the fuck it wasn't. like, no, this car wasn't reported stolen. It has temp tags with my name and information on it. I have my registration with my name and information. I have my driver's license. I have all my information right here. I don't know what car was reported stolen, but it wasn't this one. And like, who the fuck steals a Saturn Ion?
Anybody?
Like of all the
Fast
cars,
and the Furious.
like, yeah, like, oh, a Saturn Ion, a 4-cylinder that gets 26 miles to the gallon. That's what the fuck people are stealing. With a 4.5 out of 5-star safety rating. That's what people are stealing. All right, cool. Just making sure we're on the same page for this bullshit. That's what people are stealing. A gold Saturn Ion. It sticks out like a motherfucker. Like, you couldn't like miss this car. And I'm just sitting here like, I'm like dead ass looking the cop in his face like, really? This exact vehicle was reported stolen. So, like, just situations like that. And then the cops come at my homeboy because he got a sword sitting between his legs. It was like, oh, you know how to use that? No, nigga, it's decorative.
See, that's the type of shit that what was the reason for that?
Why the sword in between
like that's looking for?
Well, he was holding it.
Confrontation. You looking for me to say a smart remark,
right?
So you could drag my ass out the car,
right? Right. Some stupid ass shit like that. Like no, it's a fucking decorative sword. Like, he bought it we bought it. We came from the gun and knife show. We still had the wristbands on and shit. And like, why are you even addressing him? Like, he's the passenger.
Right. Looking for that confrontation.
That's it. And it's just like, and it was 2 white cops from Baton Rouge and East Baton Rouge Parish. And, that's the type of shit you expect from police. You don't expect police to especially when it's white police officers. I don't expect anything positive to come from the occurrence, even if you are in the right 100%.
Right.
So, speaking of police, New York is notorious for, pun intended. New York is notorious for
notorious.
I know, right? That pun was unintended, but I like it anyway. So they're notorious for their policing practices. New York has a history with stop and frisk when it comes to Black and brown people of color being accosted just because they look a certain way. So recently it came out, there was videos and images shown of NYPD's response to people not social distancing. In Black communities, you had the police aggressively policing these people of color, whereas in predominantly white spaces, police were handing out masks. They weren't doing shit.
Have a
In
nice
reality,
day. Be
right,
safe.
right. Oh, it's Becky and James. Hey, Becky and James. Da 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 da.
Make sure you have your mask on.
Exactly. So it's one of those situations where, you see, like, you see the disparity when it comes to policing in communities of color. And it's disgusting, but it's something that we live with on a daily basis.
Yeah. And that's like, that's the part that's, to me, is scary, because we're just immune to it. Like, we know what's going to happen. Like, we know how it plays out. And it's kind of like how it was in slavery. Like, some slaves felt like, you know what? This is a lifestyle that I have to be immune to. This is just how it is for me. And it's sad that we have to be in that same mindset when you have these people who are supposed to protect and serve out here abusing us. Like, literally. The police officer, I watched one of the videos last night, they was arresting a guy and his 3 friends were on a stoop watching and recording. And he was like, go inside. And it was like, why? Like, we're not doing anything.
Right.
And he was like, you live here? The man was like, yeah. He was like, go inside. Back up. And I'm like, how far do you want them to back up? They're on a stoop. You're in the street. How far? They're not doing anything.
Right.
They're recording to make sure you don't manhandle their friend.
Right.
So then one officer gets aggressive, pulls out his billy club, and he's like bracing up to these people.
Right.
He's taking the phone out the hand, and like one of the kids are like, yo, like your man's is bugging. He said like a slick remark about the child's lingo. And I'm like, that's not policing.
Right.
Like, what positive are you doing?
Right.
They're not doing anything. It's only 3 of them.
Yeah,
go about your business. Like, you already arrested one friend. Like, why are you engaging? Then he takes his phone out of his hand, and I'm like, come on.
Right.
Really? For what? What grounds did you have to take this man's phone?
Right.
Just cause you don't need a reason.
Just because you have that badge, just because you feel like behind this badge, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And I'm just waiting for one day niggas gonna say, you know what? We gonna show you. We gonna show you.
Right. Now, so the big arrest, that's the big situation that's gaining a lot of news traffic, is Francisco Garcia, Officer Francisco Garcia.
Oh, that bitch.
Yes, he was placed on modified assignment. And so basically what happened is he approached the man in the crosswalk. He's seen yelling at the man. He was carrying a stun gun. The man is 33-year-old Donnie Wright. He forces Donnie to the ground, hitting him and kneeling on his neck. Donnie Wright was
after he's cuffed.
Right. He was later hospitalized with severe injuries to his back, ribs, and chest.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah. And then just before Wright was arrested, Garcia and other plainclothes officers stopped to investigate a corner where they saw people walking and milling about and not wearing masks.
They literally pulled, I don't know if y'all watched the whole video, they literally pulled somebody. It was like they pulled this person from out of a store.
Right.
The man in a crosswalk, people were recording because they were like, whoa, like, what the fuck y'all doing? He walks up to the man and he's like, what you flexing for? Right. And I'm like, you're initiating confrontation.
Right.
Like, whether you're a police officer or not, at the end of the day, you're a man first. The man you're talking to is a man first. So your approach is wrong. Right. Then you take him after he didn't do a thing. He could flex all he want, but did he hit you? Did he run up on you? Did he run down on you? No.
Right.
He slams this man on the ground. They have him cuffed, and he sits his big ass on this man's back and neck. Like, he was chilling. Not just to restrain him, like he sat there for a while.
Right.
He's lucky the man survived, because the way he was sitting on him, he probably could have cut his air pipe, and he probably couldn't have been able to breathe.
And he still got off, even if he did.
And you just get a slap on the wrist with death duty. This isn't your first go around, my nigga.
Right. So just to be completely clear, Genevieve Wong, who is a staff attorney with the Cop Accountability Project with the Legal Aid Society, said that Garcia was the subject of at least 6 lawsuits that were settled for more than $180,000. So this dude, he's the subject of
He's
a notorious offender.
Yeah.
So that they can't see that he's a liability for the department.
They see he's a liability. They see he's a liability, but they agree with his policing because they feel that type of policing is effective.
Right. So,
but at the end of the day, it's still a business. If somebody's costing me $180,000, I'm cutting ties. Come on, man.
No, I think like in that area, they think that, because you got to think of New York is a place where, you know, you can't have weapons. It's not like an open carry state.
It's not. You cannot carry
they
a weapon.
They use a lot of force to keep things in order. Because when you look at New York, that's crime, but it's not like down here how we have shootings.
Right.
So they're going to use every tactic they can to keep that little crime they have down. And he's one of them. They probably think he's the best officer patrolling in the black neighborhoods.
Right. So, because I mean, he's clearly
if that's
and
the case,
180,000.
I'm just saying. So if that's the case, why keep him at desk job? Keep doing what he's doing. Why move?
Because they have to show like they're chastising him. They have to say, "Oh, we're taking care of it. We're doing something."
Though. You're not.
Oh no, of course.
That's what I'm saying. So
$180,000.
But to a person that's not like a person that don't know any better, probably think, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, he's off the streets. He's not coming in contact with anybody. We gonna be good. It's fine." Right. Well, when his desk duty is up, he's going to be back on the street.
Exactly.
So it has to look like they're doing something.
Oh yeah,
because 180,000.
That ain't shit.
3 people. That ain't nothing out there.
6 different lawsuits.
180,000, 6 different people. That's lunch money.
That's 20 G's a pop and change. That's ain't shit.
Lunch money.
Right. That's what the police association and that's what the police union, and that's what they're there for, to protect dirty cops like him. Because ain't no way you got 6 lawsuits. 6?
Not 1, not 2, not 3.
What LeBron said?
Not 4, not 5, not 6, not
6
7.
lawsuits. Look, and about to be another one, so it's about to be 7. Yeah, like it's just like how can
but
you?
The thing with this one is he cannot settle. I wouldn't settle. That's the problem. Like, these people are settling. Like, I wouldn't settle. No, I'm not settling. We have you on video. You're dead ass wrong. I'm not settling.
Yeah, but I don't know. The fact that he has all these lawsuits against him. I mean, it doesn't mean nothing no more. It really doesn't. He can have 7, 8, or 10 that's throwing back. He still will be doing what he's doing. So.
Yeah, they still gonna keep him, but I'm not settling for no 20 racks.
No, indeed. Oh no, 20? Nah, 20 bands. I'm good. I want this bitch to be all in the news. I want a whole police department.
But see, that's the thing. Like, that's how you can manipulate, because these are poor. Like, you know, I wouldn't say poor, but these are people that's probably struggling. That's gonna say, you know what? Because they scare them with a tactic. You gotta take this. You don't want to go to court and have to pay all of these fees that you don't have. You know, just take this little money and it's gonna go away.
And hearing 20,000 sounds good. It's like, oh,
if you don't have it,
if you ain't got it, and they, you know, if they walk into a court and you already coming from an underserved community where you don't have a lot of resources, and somebody walk in, look, we're gonna offer you $20,000 to just walk away and be done with it. Yeah. Because when you poor, when you live paycheck to paycheck, and somebody say, "Hey, we're gonna give you a $20,000 come up," Yeah, you take like most people would take it. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I wouldn't think about it. You know, and especially in the current climate we live in, if somebody said, "Look, we understand this happened. We sorry about it, whatever," or we're not admitting responsibility, we're not apologizing, but in a good faith effort, we're gonna cut you this check for 20 G's. I can't say I wouldn't even think about taking it because 20 G's that'll give me a nice start over somewhere. I could go to Africa with 20 G's.
That sounds good. I'm not too going to Africa in that current climate.
Right. So
I want 20 G's in my flight, first class paid for.
That's it.
That's right there. Though.
That's it.
That's the whole ticket going.
All that.
20,000. How much is the first class ticket?
That's why I said that's why I want them to pay for it.
I want my ticket. I want a rental house paid for a few months, and I want the 20 G's.
What car? A rental car too.
But stuff like that happens to people who are, unaware of their rights or unaware of the potential, and they take advantage of it.
That's the unfortunate
And he's
reality.
and in a couple of months, he'll probably be back out policing.
Back to square one.
Oh yeah, I mean he gonna be off desk duty, and he gonna be, they just gonna move him to a different neighborhood, put him on a different patrol or whatever. Because that's what they do. They rotate him around.
Yeah. They rotate you. We're gonna look out for you. We're gonna still keep your job, still keep the same.
The police union gonna make sure he can go back to being a racist, discriminatory son of a bitch and still treat black and brown people like shit because he self-hate himself. Because his last name Garcia, so he Hispanic or Latinx or whatever. So
he a nigga just like the one he had.
Yeah, because guess what? Them white people ain't cooning for him like nobody else. But he the token because he probably a little bit lighter than the rest.
He the prize, huh?
Oh yeah. He
wow.
Look, shade. The shade.
I knew that was coming. I
love it. But that's a great way to close out this episode because look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, everybody listening, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. All the support and everything like this. We got a bigger interview coming up. Our next special guest, we're waiting on. There's some logistical things to happen, so that's the plan. So we're looking forward to it. But guys, great episode. And look, everyone be safe out there. We live in a time where things are not sure, where things are very dangerous. You can get sick. Police are out here doing people dirty. People out here doing people dirty. So to all our people, our listeners, our fans, our friends, our followers, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Be safe. Be smart, make good decisions, do social distance, do what you got to do to take care of yourselves and your family. Y'all got anything else?
This episode coming out on Friday, so the week is almost over. So I did want to say we appreciate our nurses and our teachers.
Absolutely.
Appreciation Week, BK is a teacher, so we appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely.
So also teachers out there, nurses out there, we appreciate you guys.
Molding the minds of the young people. Absolutely.
So that's that. Make sure y'all follow us on our Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Right.
Leave a review, leave some comments. We look at them and read them. And we appreciate you guys for always following us, listening to us. Right now,
and interact with us on Facebook. We want those questions.
Yes. We're at right now with 2,000 total plays, I think, right now. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. So we appreciate you guys. We wouldn't be here without y'all. On to
the next 1,000.
Absolutely. So
all right. Well, that's another one. Day Late Dollar Show podcast out.
Peace.